beautiful spring day. One of the first harvests of the garden is chives. They're the first to pop up. They're cold hardy. They'll pop up even if it's snowing and frosty. Today's a nice warm day. I'm gonna go out and trimming some. I'm gonna use some for supper tonight on our baked potatoes. So I was gonna get enough to go ahead and dehydrate some too for over the winter. While I was outside, I stopped by and checked out our strawberries. As you can see, they're starting to pop up real good. Here are some violets that I planted last year, and tulips coming up, and hyacinths, lilies popping up, some more lilies, and my hydrangea, some more violets that I planted. They're doing awesome. Okay, back in the house. Here are the chives. I got them all washed, and I took out any debris like pine needles and sticks and dead chives from last year. So I got them all washed, and now I'm gonna trim them up in small bites. I find dehydrating chives is easier to go ahead and chop them first before you dehydrate them. Always it's harder to trim them when they're dry. So just go ahead and trim them up to the length that you would like. And they're all done. And then you just lay them out on your dehydrator. I have a circle dehydrator. It's pretty basic. Pop the lid on, adjust the vent hole, just plug her in, and she's ready to go. You're going to want to check them, you check them like 18 hours to 24 hours until they're dry and crispy. We'll check on those later. Now onto supper. We're going to do pork steak. If you have celery, salt, garlic, and pepper, you can just about season just about anything. They're my favorite seasonings for meat. So just sprinkle it on. You fry it up on the skillet. You want to put a little olive oil if you need to, but pork's pretty fatty. So just kind of stick it on there. And you want to cover it to keep it. Helps it cook faster and also keeps some of the moisture in. Let it cook for a while, then you're going to flip it over. And so you see it's nice and brown. That nice charred flavor. We really enjoy our pork steak. And then once it's all done, I had multiple batches to do, so I went ahead and put it in the oven in a baking dish and covered it to keep it warm, along with my baked potatoes that are baking. If you're not familiar with making baked potatoes, all you have to do is wash your potatoes really good and then either poke them with a fork, or I tend to slice them in half with a knife just to make sure the insides are okay. Cut off any bad parts, and then you're going to wrap them with foil and bake them until they are tender. So I came across some asparagus on sale at the store, and I couldn't help myself. It sounded so good, and ours aren't up yet. So what I'm doing with it is I'm sauteing them on my skillet with some olive oil, salt, and pepper. Basically all you do is you drizzle it with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and you just kind of cook it till it gets a nice bright green, and the outsides start bubbling, turning like a nice brown black char color, and they're done. I like it cooking this way because they're still kind of crispy, but they're cooked. And supper. Alright, here are the seeds we're getting ready to start. So these were going to be our tomatoes, our cabbage and broccoli, and cauliflower, mild peppers, and our berries that we're trying this year, and the ground cherries. So these here will be going into the hot box and get started in those seed trays. And then these over here will be direct sown in the garden. Probably do those tomorrow. So yeah, what we're working on today. Here are some of the tools that we use and a little helper. And we're getting ready to get started here. We'll talk more about that later. So we start our seeds on cookie sheets. Chad also likes to mix the soils. We get seed starter, which is the one that has the perlite and vermiculite in it with the white, and then like some kind of like topsoil or potting soil, whatever you come across. And Chad said this is some kind of veggie mix type thing, dirt. So we just mix it up really good. He likes to use the seed starter for the perlite and vermiculite so it doesn't get too compact down and allows the air and water to, and allow spaces for the roots to grow. Now, starting them on cookie sheets, it allows them to get a quick start, so we can usually get seeds to start popping up in about 3 days versus like 5 to 7. And you don't leave them in there too long. You want to leave them in there just a couple days till you can open up their first leaves, and you want to remove them before the roots start getting entangled. But this allows us to know how many seeds came up, and we can get them into the pods. So to transfer them from the seed trays to the pods, and then if we need to, we'll transfer them from the small pods to like a cup or what have you. Right now, Chad's just marking rows, so each row will have different seeds in it. And while he was planting, I was writing down what he was planting so we can keep track of what's what. Alright, so everything is planted and watered and into the hot box. So we end up with 3 trays and a little section of a new medium that we're trying to see how that works. So everything's in, everything's watered, the temperature is rising, and now we wait. And back to our chives. So these have been sitting here for a couple days. It got kind of busy and So they've been sitting here, they're nice and crispy and dried out. Perfect. So we will take these and put them into a storage container to keep them dry. First things first, I gotta get them off the tray and I put them into a bowl so I can easily get them to where I need to go. It's always a little tricky. Haven't quite found the easy way to do this yet. As you can see, they're nice and bright green and really light and just great looking dried chives. Alright, and I put these in this herb keeper thing, shaker that I got. It even got the name. Oh, it's not coming in very good. Yeah, there it goes. Chives. So fill that up with these. So I will. Alright. Carefully. Beautiful. See how they're really paper thin and crispy. And when you're dehydrating chives, if you can get them earlier, you can get them the crispier they'll be. You can use them all year long. You can save them from the whole season. But the first popping up, they're the tenderest. They're the most tender, and give really the nice crispness. So that batch made that much chives. So that's not bad. And actually, this will probably last me almost a whole year. I'll probably do another batch or two just to make sure I have enough. And then when they bloom, these are from last year. These, you can also save the flowers. The flowers are edible as well. They have more of an oniony taste to them. So I'll probably dump these and get some fresh flowers when they bloom. And they usually bloom, early summer, midsummer. So I'll do more of those when that comes around. But there's a good start. It's the first harvest of the year right there. Some fresh, dried chives. So spring is here. Yay! So we got pop-ups. We got new life. I do believe those are cabbages down there. And then just different things. Oh, I'm sure I got it written down what they are. And this right here might look like mold, but those are actually roots to get ready to pop up. So, and even in this thing, we got some life growing too. Right here. So cool. The hot box works again. Hi, it's Heidi from Legacy Gardens, and I just wanted to hop on here and talk about a few things that Chad and I want to make sure you knew when you start seeds. It's just some different guidelines or tips that we wanted to share with you as you start your seeds. The first thing is before you plant seeds, touch the little seedlings or any of that, you want to make sure you're washing your hands, especially if you're a smoker, because nicotine could harm the plant or the seeds and not allow it to germinate or kill it off when it's young. So one thing is you want to make sure you're washing your hands, especially if you're a smoker. Another thing is starting them on the cookie sheets is great. It allows them to start early, faster, because usually seeds germinate, anywhere from 5 to 7 days or more. And this way we can get them to start sprouting in 3 days. In fact, as I'm recording this Monday. We started the seeds Friday, which is the video of Chad planting them. On this video, that was Friday, today's Monday, and we already transplanted 108 plants. So the broccoli and the cabbage, cauliflower have already popped up enough where we can go ahead and plant it. And there's other that have started to pop up that we'll probably plant tomorrow, transplant tomorrow. So it really gives you a good jump on that, especially like we're actually starting our season slightly later, which we're still in the okay zone, but you know we really got to get at it now. Otherwise, we're gonna get might get into a little trouble. But we're still in the okay zone. Excuse me. And another thing is the tools that we use, things that we have gathered over the years that's made it helpful for us, especially for Chad. Now you gotta remember too, Chad has worked with a greenhouse and learned how to start seeds. Did a lot of landscaping, learning soils and what's important in that, and as well as he farms. He helped his grandfather farm, garden all the years, so he's got many years behind him. But one thing that we got, I think last year or year before, is a meter to read the soil. So like this will read the fertility and the pH level and the temperature, which are very important. Temperature is important when you start these seeds. You don't want to put in the ground when it's too cold. So you want to make sure your temperature is good. Excuse me. And the pH level is important, as well as the fertility. The fertility will tell you like how well your plant will do. So this is helpful, and it comes with a book, and there's all kinds of guides and stuff you can get online and other books that will tell you, how to use this, the information from this to get your soil to where it needs to be. And each vegetable is different. Like potatoes need a certain acidity, tomatoes needed another type, carrots, So depending on what you want to grow and what soil you're starting with, this is really helpful. So yeah, that's just what I really wanted to say. Also, one other thing is when you're planting the trays, you saw Chad, he would pat the soil. It's a really gentle pat. You don't want to squish it down, which, if you have any recollection of planting, you know that you don't want to squish it down so flat that it can't come up. Just a gentle pat, and just really read. Some of the seeds are really, really tiny, and they just need to, just a dusting of dirt. So, might see Chad kind of sprinkling dirt over tops of it, covering it up, just to make sure they can get through okay. So yeah, I do believe that's all of my notes that I wrote when we were doing that. So we ended up planting a lot. So we ended up with 3 trays. We planted the ground cherries, the huckleberries, the blackberry, a bunch of mixed bell peppers in different colors. We had some old seeds that we were just using up. So we got orange peppers, yellow peppers, banana peppers, which may be crossed with a hot pepper because they were from peppers from a couple of years ago. They may have gotten mixed with, getting over a cold. It may have been mixed with a hot pepper. So we'll see how those come up. And then green chilies, our tomatoes, black pepper, bell pepper. Here's the other list. Excuse me, sorry. Cauliflower, purple cauliflower, broccoli, celery, red cabbage, green cabbage, echinacea, wild thyme, basil, sweet marjoram, and spinach. Chad, we had some empty space in one of the trays. He's like, what else do you want to plant? So I went ahead and had him start some of my herbs and some spinach. So a little spinach you can throw out in the garden, but we had some spire. I'm like, well, I'll get a head start on that, so that'd be good. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Make sure you hit subscribe and like this video, and we will see you soon. Alright, take care. Bye. Here's the 108 plants we planted tonight. So just pretty much cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower. They were ready to get moved, ready to BB plants. There they are. And my little takes here, they're just like plastic cups that I cut, and then I just wrote with some permanent marker. Yes, Joey. So those are pretty easy to do if you need to take real quick. They're, you can get a pack of cups for pretty cheap, and you just cut them up. These are some old birthday cups from a few years ago. Joey, do you say hi? You say hi, Joey? Say hi, Joey. Joey. Hey, that's not yours. It's not yours. Joey.